think I caught my girlfriend cheating. What do I do? I, an 18-year-old guy, called my 19-year-old girlfriend, and something happened that left me deeply unsettled. A feeling I had never experienced before in our relationship. We've been together for 4 months, and although that may not seem like a long time, things had been going so well that I had never questioned our connection. We had established a routine where we spent almost every day together, creating a closeness that felt genuine and special. It was easy to trust her, her words, her gestures, and what we had built in such a short amount of time. But what happened during that call completely changed my perspective and, to be honest, made me question everything I thought I knew about her.
It all started as a normal call, one of the many we make almost every day. I dialed her number without expecting anything out of the ordinary, but something technical went wrong with the connection. It was a brief glitch, but enough for something unexpected to happen. The call connected a few seconds before I could hear my own greeting. During that small interval before she said hello, I heard something that froze me in place. A male voice, clear and direct, said my girlfriend's name, followed by a question that shook me. Who is my name?
I didn't know how to react. For a second, I stood still, holding the phone in my hand, feeling my heart race as my mind tried to process what I had just heard. When she finally answered the call, I couldn't help but ask her immediately who had been talking in the background. My question was direct, almost instinctive, but her response wasn't what I expected. It was the TV, she said in a tone that tried to sound casual. Something about her tone seemed strange to me. It didn't come off as blatantly lying, but it wasn't completely convincing either. I insisted, clarifying that I had heard both our names in one sentence. That's not something the TV could have said by coincidence, right? I wanted her to explain, to give me an answer that made sense, but instead, she avoided the question. Her only response was something like, "Yeah, that's weird." And then she changed the subject as if it wasn't important. Her attitude threw me off completely. Up until that moment, our relationship had been open and transparent. Or at least, that's what I believed. We had always been able to talk about anything without feeling judged, and I valued that deeply. But this time, she didn't seem willing to explain herself. Something in her voice and the way she handled the situation made me feel like something was off. And for the first time, a shadow of doubt crept into my mind. It's strange how a single moment, a single sentence, can change the way you perceive someone so drastically. Before that call, I had no reason to doubt her. I fully trusted her honesty and what we shared. But now, after hearing that male voice asking who I was, I can't stop thinking about what's really going on. My mind hasn't stopped since then. I find myself going over every detail of our relationship, looking for signs I might have missed before. Am I overreacting? Am I being paranoid? I want to believe there's a logical explanation for everything, but the uneasy feeling won't go away. It's as if a small crack has formed in the trust we had, and I don't know how to fix it. What torments me the most is not knowing what to do. Do I give her the benefit of the doubt? Or do I confront my suspicions head on and risk what we have? 4 months isn't a long time, but for me, what we had built was important. I never expected to find myself in this situation, questioning everything after what should have been just another call. If anyone has been through something similar or has any advice, I would appreciate hearing it. I'm caught between wanting to believe in her and not being able to ignore what I felt in that moment. What would you do in my place? Update 1. Since that strange call happened, I haven't been able to stop thinking about what I heard. The voice of a man asking, "Who is my name?" still echoes in my head. I tried to stay calm and not react impulsively, but something inside me tells me there's more to this than she's willing to admit. After hanging up, I decided not to text her right away. I needed time to analyze what had happened. Later, I sent her a casual message, something normal, as if nothing had happened. "How was your day?" She replied in her usual way, "All good, and you?" On the surface, everything seemed like always, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was hiding something. In the past few days, I've been paying closer attention to everything, and things that used to go unnoticed now seem suspicious. For example, when we went out to dinner yesterday, she was more focused on her phone than usual. It wasn't blatant, but those small actions that wouldn't have mattered to me before now seemed to take on a different meaning. The real issue came up when I tried to bring it up again this morning. While we were having breakfast, I casually mentioned, "Hey, about that call from a few days ago. Are you sure it was the TV?" Her reaction was quick and direct. Yes, I already told you. Why do you keep bringing this up? That response left me confused. Not because it was particularly aggressive, but because she seemed desperate to shut down the topic. Her reaction only made my doubts grow even more. In these 4 months of our relationship, I've never felt like she was hiding something from me. She has always been open with me, and our connection felt honest. But since that call, I can't shake this feeling of unease. Am I overreacting? Am I letting one isolated incident ruin everything we've built? Despite my attempts to rationalize it, I can't help but think about all the possibilities. Who was that man? Why was he asking about me? And most importantly, why does she seem unwilling to talk about this openly? I know I need to have a serious conversation with her, but I don't know how to approach it without sounding accusatory. At the same time, I don't want to ignore how I feel. Something isn't right, and pretending everything is fine isn't going to solve it. In the next few days, I'm going to try to find the right way to confront this situation. I don't want to rush into anything or make decisions I might regret, but I also don't want to stay stuck in this uncertainty. For now, I'm giving myself some space to think. Trust is fundamental to me, and I'm not sure I can continue if this doubt keeps growing. What would you do if you were in my place? Update 2. It's been a few days since the last time I wrote here, and things haven't improved. In fact, I'd say everything feels even more confusing. I've decided not to talk to her directly yet, but my mind can't stop analyzing every detail of our relationship, searching for signs that might help me understand what's going on. First, I want to clarify something many of you have asked. Yes, our relationship is exclusive. From the beginning, we agreed not to see anyone else, and so far, at least as far as I know, we've both respected that agreement. That's why what I heard on the call completely caught me off guard. I've never had any reason to think she was hiding something from me. What confuses me even more is that, in terms of behavior, I haven't noticed anything unusual. We still spend most of our days together, and often the nights too. She hasn't changed her routine or started acting strangely, at least not in an obvious way. However, there's something I can't ignore, my instinct. Since that call, I've felt that something isn't right. It's as if, even though everything seems normal, there's an invisible tension between us. For example, when we're together and her phone rings, I notice that she quickly checks it and then places it face down. Maybe she's always done that and I just didn't notice before, but now every little gesture feels significant. I've replayed that call in my head over and over again. Hearing a man ask, "Who is my name?" felt like a punch to the gut. It was his tone, his curiosity, that made me feel it wasn't a casual question. And although I try to convince myself it could have been a coincidence, I can't ignore that she avoided the topic in a way that seems suspicious to me. Some people here have suggested that maybe I'm the other guy in this situation. I've thought a lot about that, but honestly, I don't think that's the case. We spend too much time together for her to maintain another serious relationship without me noticing. Sure, there's always the possibility that she's doing something behind my back, but so far, there's no concrete evidence of that.
What unsettles me the most is that she has always been open with me. We talk about everything, our plans, our families, even the things that bother us about each other. That's why this lack of clarity about the call feels so out of place. It's as if there's an invisible barrier I can't get through, and that barrier is starting to erode the trust I have in her.
I've considered the possibility that this is all just a misunderstanding. Maybe the man I heard was someone visiting, a friend, or even a relative, and she didn't want to tell me because she thought I'd misinterpret it. But if that were the case, why not just tell the truth? Why act as if it was nothing? Part of me wants to confront her directly, to ask for a clear and honest explanation. But another part of me is afraid that doing so will make things worse. I don't want to come across as paranoid or accuse her of something without evidence. But I also can't keep ignoring how I feel. For now, I've decided to give myself a little more time before making a decision. I'm trying to observe everything calmly to see if there's anything else that might give me a clue about what's really going on. I don't want to rush or make a mistake that I'll regret later. However, I can't help but feel that this situation is affecting our relationship. Even though I try to act like everything's fine, she must have noticed that I'm quieter than usual, more distant. And the worst part is, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up before everything blows up. That's all for now. I don't have many answers, but at least writing here helps me organize my thoughts. If anyone has any advice or has been through something similar, I'm open to hearing it. For now, I just want to understand what's going on and decide whether this relationship is worth continuing or not.
Update 3. After everything that has happened, I feel like I can no longer stay in this situation. Over the past few days, I've read many of your comments and advice, and while I can't respond to everyone, I want to thank you for taking the time to share your experiences and perspectives. Honestly, I never thought my story would get this much attention. Seeing how many people have taken an interest makes me feel a little less alone in all this mess. Right now, I've made a decision that I believe is best for me. I'm not speaking to her. No texts, no calls, nothing. I've decided that it's not worth continuing to invest my time and energy in a relationship that makes me feel this way. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but there's something that just doesn't sit right, and it's destroying my peace of mind.
Many of you suggested that I confront her face to face and have a clear conversation. But here's the problem. I can't see her in person for a while. Our schedules don't line up, and to be honest, I don't think it's necessary at this point. I've been turning the situation over in my head and have come to the conclusion that no matter what she says, I can't stay with someone I no longer trust. What hurts me the most isn't the possibility that she lied or even cheated, but the way she handled everything. When I gave her the chance to be honest, she avoided it. She could have clarified things, but instead, she acted like it wasn't important. That tells me far more than any explanation ever could. I know we were only together for 4 months, but I really thought we had something special. It's been hard to accept that maybe I was the only one who felt that way. I don't want to be the person who clings to something that no longer makes sense, who holds on to the hope that things will get better when, in reality, they're already broken. Many of the comments I received made me reflect on what I truly want in a relationship. I want someone who values me, who is honest with me, who doesn't make me feel like I'm crazy for having doubts. And although it hurts, I realized that this relationship wasn't giving me that. I've decided that I don't want to stick around to see how things could get worse. I don't want to let someone play with my feelings or make me feel less than I deserve. I know I'm still young and there's a lot to learn about love and relationships, but one thing is clear. I won't tolerate lies or behaviors that make me doubt my worth. As for what I'll do now, I think I'll just move on. I'm not going to look for answers, confrontations, or anything like that. I don't think I need an explanation to know that this isn't working. And honestly, I don't want to stay stuck in a situation that will hurt me more than necessary. And if anything else happens, or if there are any unexpected changes, I'll come back here to update you. I know some of you are quite invested in seeing how this all ends, and if there's something worth sharing, I'll do so. But for now, I think this is the end of our relationship. For those going through something similar, all I can say is to value your peace of mind and well-being. If someone makes you feel insecure or gives you reasons to doubt, maybe it's time to reevaluate whether that relationship is truly worth it. I'm learning this in my own way, and while it hurts, I know it's the best thing for me. Thank you for reading, for caring, and for sharing your perspectives. Sometimes, hearing from people with more experience helps bring things into clearer focus. I'm sure there's someone out there who will treat me the way I deserve, and I'm ready to find that person when the time is right. For now, I'll focus on myself and what I really want in life. If she happens to read this, though I doubt she has read it, I hope she understands why I made this decision. It's not out of resentment or anger, but because I know I deserve better.